everyone, and welcome back to the second installment of the NERDCAST. I'm here with Steven once again.
Yo.
We have some good stuff to talk about today. I guess we can kind of kick things off with talking about the state of nerdologists, what's kind of been going on in the nerdologist realm this week.
Well, we had our first episode actually of the NERDCAST go up last week?
Yeah, last Monday.
Yeah, I mean, for being gone for about a year and a half, I think we actually did pretty good. I think it capped at almost 40 views, and hey, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah,
and then I've also, I think the same day that it premiered, I also streamed on Twitch.
Yep. I think it was premiering the same time you were streaming.
I tried beating Crash 2 in completion. I actually ran out of time, so I actually didn't beat Crash 2 yet, so I have to do that. I'm trying to at least get through Crash 2 this weekend because I have to start 3 pretty soon.
Yeah, I was going to say there are, I think, 44 days until Crash 4, and you wanted to at least get through 1 through 3.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it.
I don't blame you. It's tough. I mean, especially if you're trying to 100% all of them. How far are you in Crash 2?
I think I'm in the last warp room now. So there's not much left. I think I actually beat, I think it was Rocket before I ended the stream. So, I mean, I'm pretty decently into it. I'm not going to go back and get the relics. I'm probably just going to get all the gems, beat Cortex again, and then I'll just move on to 3 from there.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. That we were watching you on, I guess, Monday, and we were also watching the DNC at the same time on my laptop, and we were streaming you on the TV, so you could tell which one obviously took precedence over the other. But yeah, I think you're on definitely Warp Room 5. I don't know how much more you have from there though. You had at one point almost 5 to 8 people in the stream.
I think I capped at 3 or 4. And I actually had this one guy that kept coming back and really talking to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. And then he just never followed me. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I saw that he kept on commenting about Super Nintendo games.
Yeah,
and 64 games. I saw that guy. So if you're out there, you should probably follow the person you're communicating with.
No, it's fine. I just thought it was really funny.
Oh wow. But if you guys like the streams and like the podcast, is there any way to stream the podcast to Twitch?
Yeah, actually, I think there is. You can actually upload videos to Twitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
So I have that file. I should give it a try. I think you can actually upload videos to it. Another thing I'm also going to try doing is we'll talk about later on when we get to what games I'm playing this week. But I'm gonna try, and because you can record and live stream at the same time for Twitch, so it'll record everything that I'm capturing. So what I want to try and do is maybe do like a highlight video, or maybe break it down into just edit it to a 14-minute video or something. So I might try doing that, because there's a couple games that we're playing that are pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. The other thing about Nerdologist going on this week is we are trying to get onto Apple Podcasts. We have been setting up to record at 11 o'clock on Friday nights. We just took about 45 minutes to try to get on Apple Podcasts, and it's submitted for review by Apple. So you might be seeing us pop up there soon here. So you can go ahead and subscribe there as well, as long as we get on there. So fingers crossed we're going to get on there.
Our goal is to get to Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify is apparently just a pain to get
Yeah.
on. It's a lot of hoops to jump through and not much fun.
We'll get there though.
Oh, I could only hope. But if you guys want to watch Steven on Twitch, what is the Twitch handle? I think it's
it's TV. I think it's tv.twitch.com /nerdologist gaming.
It's twitch.tv/nerdologist gaming.
Oh, I had that backwards.
Oh, it's okay. I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, you seem to be streaming twice a week, is what it looks like.
I'm trying to stream twice a week. Yeah, I'm trying to do like once during the week and then once on the weekend.
Yeah, you guys also, if you're listening, you have to remember that we are both full-fledged adults doing adult things. So that includes a 40-hour work week minimum, as well as Steven's cats and my dogs needing full-fledged attention all the time, and significant others
puking everywhere.
Well, that's only he's a dog, but he woke me up at 4 a.m. just like on my face, basically saying like, I'm gonna vomit on the bed if you don't get up. So that's how our lives go sometimes.
It's good incentive to get up.
Yeah, so I was so tired, I held him over the toilet like he was gonna like throw up in the toilet.
Oh jeez.
Like a person. And then he kind of like looked up at me, he's like, what are you doing? And then after he just like kind of choked it down, which was really gross, but I got him water and I ended up staying on the couch with him for the rest of the night. But other than that, what'd you say?
I said, oh god.
Yeah, so I just ended up hanging out with him for the rest of the night. And it's funny, last Saturday I was editing the podcast and I was all hyped up. I didn't start editing the podcast because me and my girlfriend were watching HBO's Ballers with The Rock in it until like 2 a.m. And then I logged on my computer, I cracked open a beer. I'm like, I guess it's time to edit this podcast. 6 a.m. rolls around and I'm like, exporting. Great. So that's usually what time I actually get up in the morning itself.
I can't believe that you actually stayed up all night like to edit that. Like, there's no rush.
Oh, I don't care. There's a rush in my mind. That's the thing that you have to consider. My mind's like telling me no, but my body's telling me yes, and the yes is to put R. Kelly in jail. Which I think he's already in jail. If you didn't get that, that's a R. Kelly reference. I think that's his song. Anyways, to get off the topic of R. Kelly, we have some good stuff to talk about today. We already did a few of the things, but have you heard about the DC's Fandome coming up?
I heard a little bit of it's replacing their Comic-Con panel, right?
Yeah, so like from my understanding, and the only reason I figured out about this is because The Rock, he's playing Shazam. Yeah, did you know this? Yeah, so he's playing Shazam in a upcoming Shazam? Yeah. Which I guess is going to end up tying in, or not Shazam, Black Adam.
Black Adam. I thought so.
Main Shazam bad guy. But he's playing Black Adam in an upcoming movie, and he's really hyping it. And I guess he's going to be at this DC Fandome. And I'm trying to log into their site right now because I actually made an account because I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. But I guess it's just like 24 hours of just straight announcements having to do with DC. Now the only thing is with those announcements that have to do with DC, there's about 6 total hours of announcements. And then and then they replay those 6 hours of announcements 6 times 4 is 24. So they play those 6 hours of announcements about 4 more times.
Jeez.
So it's technically a 24-hour event, you're only getting what's it called? You're only getting about 6 hours of new content, and it's just going to repeat and repeat and repeat 4 times.
That is so strange. I mean, I get it, but like, why don't they just do something like, I don't know, like everyone else has done? Like E3 wasn't a thing, but like they either live streamed it and it was just, there in the moment, and then you have everyone and their mother reporting it afterward, or just put out break it up in the hour segments and just release 1 hour videos of each topic or something. That's just so odd to me to have like the same 6 hour the same 6 hours of content like cycled through a 24-hour period. That's so strange to me.
Yeah, it's a little strange, I guess is the best way to put it. It is strange, and I'm having trouble logging in here, but like the segments aren't long segments either. Like the Black Adam announcement, I guess, is going to be 15 minutes. Like, cool, like that's not that much.
No, like not at all. It makes you wonder what the rest of the 6 hours are going to be.
Yeah, it's like, okay then, like, what could this possibly be? I know one of them is like a Q&A with Harley Quinn, and I guess they're doing like, if you remember back in the day, they did a Simpsons live Q&A with people like actually calling in and talking to Dan Castellaneta, who's like, they have like these pre-programmed movements and animations for Homer, but his voice syncs up with like a live kind of phone call of fans or whatever.
Yeah,
but of course it's not letting me log in, but I'm gonna look for the schedule. They have their own like con specific merch. It starts at 1 p.m. on Saturday the 23rd, so today 12 hours, 13 hours. 1 p.m. is the Wonder Woman 1984 panel with Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig, and Pedro Pascal. Then 125, so you got 25 minutes of that. You got WB Games Montreal announcement. So that might be, and then we're going to talk about this in a little bit, potentially the Court of Owls video game you talked about.
I think most certainly.
Because Warner Brother Games Montreal is not going to do Suicide Squad because that's already been confirmed, and we talked about that last week for Rocksteady.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's only 20 minutes, and then at 1:45, the Sandman Universe Enter the Dreaming panel with Neil Gaiman. Cool. That's only half an hour. 2:15, there's the Multiverse 101 panel. 2:40s, there's the Flash movie panel, which apparently announced today Ben Affleck's going to be back as effing Captain America. Not Captain America, Batman. Yeah, Ben Affleck's going to play Batman again in the Flash movie. The only thing about that, though, is they already leaked those Robert Pattinson Batman teaser trailers, if you've seen those.
Yeah, I have.
Which, I mean, like, cool. But, like, I mean, there's obviously a multiverse with DC and any other comics because they run out of ideas so quickly and you can only do so many things so many times. So, if we keep on going down the list, there's a Beyond Batman short at 250. Cool. 255, there's the Suicide Squad panel with James Gunn and some of the people, I'm assuming like Margot Robbie, because he's making a Suicide Squad 2, or they're just basically redoing it and retconning the original one, which was trash.
Pretty sure that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, and before I say this, me nor Steven are sexist. We are not misogynistic, but they have a panel at 3:40 called Boss, Females of Color Within the DCU panel. Okay. I don't know what to say about it,
Well, that just seems like something that was forced into the panel. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah,
I mean,
It seems
I
so
have
out of
no
place.
problem with them doing it, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
but it's just it just seems like they're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and like people of color, obviously, like with the climate of America right now, and it's probably nothing that we want to talk about on a nerd podcast. It makes sense to have like this kind of discussion. That being said, this really seems shoehorned in and very like forced. The description is "What's a boss?" Find out here at some of the hottest actresses across DC television and film. Sit down with celebrity DJ D Nice and Grammy-winning singer actress Estelle to discuss how they use their confidence and vulnerability to navigate their careers in Hollywood. Panelists include Megan Good, I'm not even going to try that name, Javisha Leslie, Candice Patton, Tala Ash, Nafisa Williams, and Chantel Thai, I don't know, and Anna Diop and Damaris Lewis. Catch the entire full-length conversation at McDuffie's Dakota in the DTC Watchverse. Okay, and that's only 20 minutes. So if you're going to highlight that, that's the one with the largest description on the entire website. Make it more than 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because then at 4 o'clock, there's Legacy of the Bat panel. Calling all Batman fans, don't miss the discussion on the wide scope of the Batman universe, including the Batman family of characters, key talent from comics, TV, and games, will provide insight into the world of the Cape Crusader. And that's half an hour. So you're giving a Batman panel by itself longer than you are a Woman of Color panel. Okay. Then at 4:30, there's Joker, put on a happy face. Cool. 4:45, there's a surprise DC Comics panel. So that means announcement.
Yeah.
5:10, I'm Batman. The voices behind the cowl. So you're going to probably hear from people like Kevin Conroy, a bunch of those guys. Cool. 5:30, the Snyder cut of the Justice League panel. Zack Snyder fields questions from fans and a few surprise guests as he discusses his eagerly awaited upcoming cut of the 2017 feature film and the movement that made it happen. So we're going to get a longer, crappier movie.
Great.
The Flash TV panel, which happens to last an entire 16 minutes. And then at 6:10, this is the big one that we were talking about earlier. They have the Black Adam panel. Star of the first ever Black Adam feature film, Dwayne Johnson. I don't understand why they don't include The Rock, so I'll redo that. Star of the first ever Black Adam feature film, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, sets the stage for the story and tone of the new movie with a fans first Q&A and a few surprises. 6:30, CNN heroes, real life heroes in the age of the coronavirus. Also feels a little shoehorned, which is great. First responders, they should get all the recognition that they deserve. And, they should, in my opinion, without sounding too political, get paid a little bit more than they are. Yeah. That's great that they have it. But this feels like one of those things. It's like we have to cover our bases, and let's cover the bases of a women of color panel instead of just coming out and talking about it on its own separate event. That would make sense. It probably deserves its own separate event. And the CNN Heroes probably deserves its own separate event as well, not a 20-minute time slot and a 24-hour stream.
Yeah. But I think my opinion on it is like, I think they should, if they're gonna do something like this, they just shouldn't have like a content chart, like showing you all the panels are gonna have. I think something like this, they should have just had live streamed it and not said a word about what's in it, and just let people watch. I mean, I know like they're trying to probably draw people to the stream, but like halfway through the list, I was just kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not
it only gets worse.
see it bothers me so much. Like they should have just not said anything and then just live streamed it.
Yeah, kind of do like that E3 thing where like here is the time that Xbox is going to make their announcements. We don't know what the hell they're going to announce. Here's the time that the Nintendo Treehouse is going to go live. We don't know what they're going to announce. So whenever they announce, a Super Smash Brothers, or they end their whole presentation with Breath of the Wild 2, you can kind of crap your pants.
Yeah,
but now that go ahead.
No, I was like, I've never been like a huge DC fan. I love Batman, and I mean, to be quite honest, like all the Batman games are fantastic. All the Batman lore, fantastic. I love it. I just like they don't do anything to draw me in. Like I think that's one of the things I love Marvel. The reason I love Marvel, they have like their baseline stories that stay the same pretty much. So like anybody who's been around with it for long or just want the same thing, like a lot of people do want that. Like the same thing over and over again, just recycled through a different story. That's there. And they still do experiment a lot of new stuff like DC does, but like it's separate.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Like even now they're trying to do this with the movies. This is getting way too confusing, and people are really going to start dropping interest. Like I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I did not think he did a bad job.
He was the best part of those 2 movies he was in.
Right, and like were the movies written well? Well, no. So I mean that didn't do him justice. But then they were just like, oh yeah, nah, Robert Pattinson's now Batman. But wait, Ben Affleck's still going to be in the Flash. Like I get what you're trying to do, like because those 2 Batmans have already interacted. Like I'm sorry, the Batman and the Flash have already interacted. I get that, but
yeah,
stick to your guns. Like you could have still turned it around for Ben Affleck, and you could have made a good movie, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think so. Who's the kid who plays the Flash? Is it Ezra Miller?
It is, yeah. From
didn't he get
Wallflower?
Yeah, didn't he get in a lot of trouble last year for punching like somebody? I can't, and I don't want to misquote it or slander or anything, but I'm pretty sure he might have punched a woman in the face.
Huh. I never heard.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is they're gonna retcon. I'm up Ezra Miller right now as we speak. They're gonna Ezra Miller appears to choke a woman on video. Okay, that's all I'll say about that.
Oh, that's good.
I think they're gonna end up doing the Flashpoint with the Flash movie. So I don't know if Ben Affleck is going to play Bruce Wayne. I think he might play Thomas Wayne, which in the Flashpoint paradox, the Batman with the red bat on his chest. And so Martha Wayne and Bruce Wayne survive, or Martha Wayne and Thomas Wayne survive the shooting, that starts Batman, but they kill Bruce. So, yeah. So he might end up being Thomas Wayne, and then they'll probably, but that's like a whole different story. And I would assume, unless the stuff with Ezra Miller was, proven to be a sham or whatever, they're not going to want him to be in the movie because that's a pretty drastic thing to do. But anyways, to get back onto the fascination that is this kind of crapshoot of the
Ben
DC
Affleck
fandom.
Flash.
Ben Affleck is not a Flash.
You can't be Batman, but you can be the Flash.
He lost 60 pounds for his role, only for the movie to flop, like every other DC movie. At 650, it might help you to know that there is a Titans TV panel. Did you know there was a Teen Titans show on TV that was a live action show?
I don't think it was actually on TV, was it? It was like on their service or something. Yeah,
it was on
because it looked good, but I think it was part of their own like you had to subscribe to it or something or pay for the series. So
if it was on the DC Universe app subscription service, it would then be on HBO Max. So if anybody has HBO Max, they can go and watch it. I swear it was coming to TNT.
I
don't know why.
Well, I think it was supposed to, but then instead they made it part of their own service.
Yeah.
Because I was excited that it was coming to TNT, but I literally don't think that ever happened.
Now that I think about it, I watch AEW wrestling every Wednesday on TNT. They've never mentioned it. But there's 2 seasons of it. So I didn't even know that. There's 24 episodes, but they're announcing, I guess, a 3rd season that includes Nightwing. 7:05, we got an Aquaman panel because apparently there's going to be an Aquaman sequel. It must be nice to just be able to throw this much money at something.
I know.
We're almost done here, so it's not going to take much longer. So to round it out, we have the Ask Harley Quinn for 5 total minutes with Kaylee Cuoco pretty much voicing a live animated Harley Quinn. 7:20, we have Wonder Woman 80th anniversary celebration panel. That's only 5 minutes. Tomorrow's Superheroes, Shazam panel. Then at 8:10 p.m., after all that, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League panel. Will Arnett, for some reason, hosts the highly anticipated video game reveal from Rocksteady Studios, creators of the Batman Arkham franchise.
So I wonder if I bet you the game's gonna, unless that's what you just said, but I bet you the game's gonna be was it Suicide Squad kills the Justice League?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, that's what it says. At 8:10, it's Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. And then the very last one is the Batman panel, which is going to be the Robert Pattinson movie. The Batman filmmaker Matt Reeves joins host and self-professed fangirl Aisha Tyler for a discussion of the upcoming film. Cool. So there's about 3 things that I would actually be interested in. The secret announcement one, whatever that happens to be. The Suicide Squad one, and probably the Batman panel, just because I like Batman in general. I'll probably watch anything with Batman or Harley Quinn for that matter, but I'm not going to waste 5 minutes of my time to talk to Kaylee or to listen to Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah.
But I mean, it obviously shows that Warner Brothers, because they own DC and HBO and Cartoon Network and all that stuff, it obviously shows that they're putting a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
That being said, does that mean it's all going to be good? No. Does that mean 50% of it's going to be good? No. I'm going to bet that 25% of their content is going to be good.
At least, yeah. That might even be generous.
Yeah, I think between 15 and 30% is what I'd say.
Yeah. No, yeah, I could stick by that.
I mean, I'll tune in for a few things, or I'll at least catch it on YouTube, to be honest. I'm not overly concerned about watching it live.
I'll probably just catch the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah. But that's enough about DC. So let's talk about what you've been playing this week. What have you been playing other than Crash in the segment, Steven's favorite game ever this week?
So I actually have 2 games I want to mention.
Yeah.
The one I believe just released from it's been out for a little bit, but it just released from its beta. Or no, I'm sorry. I can't think of it. Anyway, the game's called Risk for Rain 2. And this is super fun. So it's an indie game. I think this is actually on the Switch. I ended up getting it on the PC because Zach and I were playing it. But it's like, I think it's like $20. But so the whole point of the game is it's kind of like a PlayStation 2 style, like waves of enemies come at you on a map, and then you have each character has their own playset, and you have to try and survive the round and continue on to the next. and there's like I think there's 8 levels that you have to try and get through. But like this game has its own quirks though. So like instead of you know like a game will have you level up and it just gets harder and harder as you progress through levels. This doesn't do that. So instead, the longer that you this counts across the whole game. The longer that you play, the harder it gets. So like if you spend like 20 minutes on one level, by the time you get to the next level, you're already going to be on a different difficulty that's going to be so much harder.
Jeez.
But
You still there?
yeah, sorry, my cat was clawing at my carpet.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We'll have to leave that in.
Anyway, so but another like to kind of help balance that out, they have these things that you get money for defeating enemies. Then you can use that money to dump into these treasure chests that you open up, and you get these items that help you get stronger, I guess. So like, but the funny part about it is it changes your appearance. So like to run faster, you can pick up a goat leg, and then your character now gets a goat leg.
Okay.
To like fall down and come back to life, you can get a teddy bear. So then the teddy bear is on your back, just kind of hanging there. It's just like it's goofy, it's fun, it's different, so different from like other games that are out there right now. And I've seen a lot of people actually playing it, so like I kind of hope it picks up its pace a little bit and people try it, give it a chance at least. And like this is actually like a 3D roguelike game. But like I think we ended up playing on the hardest difficulty, which just got to like ha 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 was the title of it. Like it wasn't even hardcore or anything. But like the more items that you have on your character, like you can't even tell that it's like on the hardest difficulty. Like it actually bounces out that well. But that is fun. I've been enjoying that. The
Sounds pretty.
The second game I want to mention is actually one that we mentioned last week, but I actually physically bought it, and it's probably the second best game I've played this year, and it's Fall Guys.
Oh, jeez. I've been watching so many people play Fall Guys.
It is so fun. It is like the mindless, dumb fun that I've been looking for in a video game. And my cousins and I have been playing it. And she live streamed it. I think was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. And it is just so fun. Like all the mini games are just like outrageous, and I mean, I don't know how people are getting so mad. Have you seen like anybody live streaming it and just getting super pissed off at it?
No, I see everybody like being like, "Oh, this is so much fun," and I just jump into a new game instead of getting upset about it.
See, like people are just like throwing their controllers, getting pissed off. I can't tell you how many times I lost, and I just didn't care. I just would, load back into another game. But like, what's cool is like, so it starts out with 60 people and it breaks up into rounds, and so like only so many people can qualify. So like there's 60 people, but only 40 can qualify. So then that means 20 people get cut in the first round. Then it just progressively gets smaller, and it's just who can get to the end before the game ends. And then if you win, you get a crown. But it's so fun. It's so worth it. And right now, it's free on PlayStation Plus, like the whole month of August.
Yeah, I think I heard that, and then it's only available also on PC and Xbox, right?
I don't think it's available for Xbox. I think right now it's just PlayStation and PC.
It's $20.
It's $20. I wanted to support the developers, so I bought it on my PC. I don't regret it though. It's so fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you, and then on top of that, it'll be a lot easier for you to stream if you want to stream it.
Yes.
I feel like it's gonna end up taking over. I think Fortnite has been out for a long time. I'm assuming at least because
3 years at least.
Fortnite. I'm talking like out of the limelight of Twitch.
Oh,
I think at least. I'm not 100% sure. That's not kind of my realm of knowledge.
well, I thought you were making a joke because like Fortnite's a battle royale. Like literally, Fall Guys is under the same category as a battle royale.
Yeah, it's like incredibly streamable. What'd you say?
Well, it makes me laugh because they're both battle royales, and
yeah,
they're so different.
I mean, I played a little bit of Fortnite. That's the only battle royale I've ever played. I'll say that. I've played a little bit of Fortnite, but I would definitely probably play a lot of Fall Guys on the basis. It's like, do you remember the TV show on Spike TV called MXC?
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it is.
That's what it looks like, and I can't get like.
It's hands down exactly that.
They just need Kenny back to announce it. One other thing I wanted to add into this segment, and I know it's more so your segment than anything else, is there is a Splatfest out of nowhere going on this weekend.
I didn't even know about it.
It is chicken versus egg. I don't know if I'm going to actually play it, but I guess they're still supporting the game after 2.5 years.
I guess they are, but like not very well because I had no clue this was coming out at all. Like there was nothing on YouTube, there was nothing on their Twitter account until like the day it started.
Yeah,
it's so weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, like I logged into my Switch today to check up on my Animal Crossing Island, and I saw in the news, because whenever you log onto your Switch, it says like a kind of panel of news on the left hand side. It said like join the Splatfest for this weekend. I'm like, what? And I texted you, Josh, and Jarrett in the group message, and I was like, did anybody know about this? And all of you guys are like, no.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
But I guess by the time this podcast comes out, the Splatfest will probably be over. But it's just interesting that they are supporting this game 2+ years later. But they haven't released any more DLC for Mario Odyssey or anything else.
No new games. This has been a real dry year for the Switch. Dry.
I definitely agree. We got what? Animal Crossing?
Yeah. And like and they're still selling like hotcakes. Like I don't get it.
So this is actually something that I heard about. Somebody released a bot into the wild
about that,
and it didn't cost anybody anything. I collect Funko, and if you want a bot to be able to like make sure you secure a Funko product, like it costs money. Somebody released an open source bot, which means a free bot basically to the wild to be able to buy a crap ton of Switches and then I mean that obviously gives the money in the hand of scalpers. So if you go on eBay right now, you probably can't find any Switch other than a Switch Lite for under, and I know retail for a Switch is $300. I think it's under $450 to $500. So you're making almost 1.5 or you're making about $150 profit on each Switch minimum. So that's why they're so hard to get. And then I guess Nintendo today also announced that they are bringing the Switch to, don't quote me on this, Brazil or some other Southern American country, which means then they'll put more Switches in the wild, which means why haven't they done that already since they're not region locked?
Yeah.
But that's kind of Nintendo's MO, is to do stuff that doesn't make any sense.
See, like I knew about the bot, but like what I don't understand is like, so like I know like people who don't own a Switch already. I mean, there's a bunch of games for them to go back and play, but like they're selling like hotcakes. But like, there's nothing here for the people who already own a Switch. Like, I've slowly like put down my Switch because like there's nothing for me to play on it. Like, there's games that I mean, like, there's some games I go back and play here and there because it's convenient, but like, there's nothing big coming out, to bring me back to the console.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I logged in to, I mean, I do Animal Crossing pretty consistently, but I put in CTR the other day. I got online, I won my first 2 races, and then I started like placing 8th. After that, it's like they like remember like, oh, we should probably do ranked matchmaking. So the online is trash. There's been no new games. Like it just needs something needs to happen. There's no like announced games for Christmas this year or holiday this year.
Not for the Switch.
The last first party like Nintendo like property game to come out was not Super Mario, but Paper Mario.
In the origami
which didn't sell too great from my understanding.
I actually think it sold decent. I just don't think the fan reception was too big on it.
Yeah, I think that that happens whenever they release a Paper Mario game. People, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I tried to hit my mute button before it, but I couldn't get to it. For Paper Mario, they released the first and second games on, I think, N64 and then eventually GameCube. And they were, basically just RPGs, which are fun. But if you want to play Mario RPG now, you have to basically play it on a DS, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So like the Mario and Luigi partners in time, that kind of Bowser's Inside Story. And the only reason I really know I'm not an RPG guy, but the only reason I really know about those is because of Ant Dude on YouTube. So shout out to Ant Dude. But other than that, like they've just been releasing these Mario or Paper Mario games that are more so adventure based than RPG based. So people are going to crap on it every time there's a new Paper Mario game because they're going to compare it to like Thousand Year Door every single time.
Right.
But do you have anything else in your favorite games this week?
No, I just wanted to mention I mentioned earlier in the podcast, but I might be doing some live streaming of like Fall Guys and stuff to kind of like throw it into the mix. So it might dampen on my progress. I'm sorry, to Crash, but I can't not do it. It's fun. It's such a fun time to play with friends online. So Kylie and Zach got it too. So it should be some fun.
Nice. And I will definitely be tuning into that. But to kind of move the podcast along, I guess it is time for Dylan's Collection Corner.
Yeah, what you got for?
Last week I ranted about gatekeeping and nothing about collections. This week I did not get a new pop product. Actually, Funko, that's a lie. Funko had buy one, get one free online for some like past exclusives. And I was able to get the Colonel Sanders in the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket with a t-shirt for free because I ended up getting... Go ahead.
Is the bucket its own Funko Pop?
No. So it comes in a bucket.
Okay.
It comes in a bucket. So in the bucket, it's like a popified version of like the KFC bucket. If you'd go to KFC right now and get a bucket of chicken, it looks like that. It comes with a t-shirt that has like Colonel Sanders on it that says "It's finger looking good," and a gold Colonel Sanders. And I got that for free because I ended up getting the Funko headquarters hoodie as well. So I think for a total of $50, I got a hoodie and this Colonel Sanders bundle, and I'm still waiting on that to come in the mail.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. But what I plan on talking about this week is, as funny as it is, I'm a huge sports fan. And I plan on talking about, because I actually find it kind of nerdy sometimes, especially because there's communities and stuff based around it.
Mhm.
My hockey jersey collection. I can't name all the jerseys I have. They're mostly Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys, though. But the main thing I wanted to bring up was the subreddit of just r/hockey jerseys, and there's a whole bunch of buying and selling and trading. So like, there are jerseys I've picked up that I've wanted my entire life, like the old school black Penguins jersey with a triangle penguin on it, and like um the tritone stripes on it. And I got it for an incredibly reasonable deal. So during this quarantine, I went on like a basically shopping spree on the subreddit, and I ended up like growing my jersey collection. I'll post some pictures within the podcast itself, but I guess moral of the story is, although this is the Nerdcast, Dylan also likes sports.
Hey, it's still a nerdy thing.
Yeah, I and that's actually something that I've kind of came, not necessarily, and definitely not to terms with, but um there is a lot of nerdy people that have to do with sports. Like, not only just or statistic people, but like my stepbrother, for instance, can tell you what, who the pitcher of Game 7 of the 1979 World Series is, and like he's memorized this stuff. And I'm just like, holy crap! Like that to me is nerdy. So like, I figured we could kind of include it in here. So like, the whole like me hunting down these specific hockey jerseys because Yarmer Yager wore it in 1998, and I would have been at that point 3 years old maybe, or Sidney Crosby's rookie jersey, which whatever jersey they're wearing there, or for instance, I got a Calgary Flames jersey. Why? I don't know. But it's always interesting because from a previous life of working in retail, I had to know a lot about sports and stuff, especially working at Lids. So that kind of translated into like this hobby of collecting, whether it's sports jerseys and primarily hockey jerseys now. But yeah, I would consider it pretty nerdy, actually. I talk about it like if Steven was to talk about a video game, or my brother was to talk about accounting, I talk about sports.
Mm-hmm.
But
True.
Other than that, I mean, the week in review is what I have on here. Has there been any announcements this week to come out? I know we mentioned prior to stream some, but kind of rehash them.
Yeah, let me look here. I think there's a couple things that I can't remember. Let's see here.
I know from kind of the collector's corner of the nerddom. Funko had a Halloween, it's August, release this week, kind of unannounced until like the morning of the release, and it, for the third or fourth time in a row, crashed their website. And people are upset.
Yeah, that's crazy. You think they would have learned and like had someone like ready to fix that or something?
Yeah, well, during the pandemic and this quarantine, they let go of their entire social media team, which is kind of BS. And then they redesigned their entire website, and their website just breaks every time they put something up for sale, like on a release time. So if it says it's going to release at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on, I think it was Wednesday, you have about a minute to get in there before it either sells out because bots have bought it, or the website breaks. And you would think they would fix it, but hey,
you would think
a publicly traded company obviously doesn't want to put the time into fixing it,
right?
Which surprisingly enough, and I found this out recently, Funko is a publicly traded company. So if you want to buy stock in Funko, you're able to. I know one thing that you mentioned, they pushed back the Halo release date.
They did, yeah. People were giving a lot of, which I see the argument on both sides, but so what was it? I think maybe 3 weeks ago they released the first trailer for Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't look quite as polished. It definitely did not look like a next gen game. Especially like the Xbox Series X is going to be the most powerful console.
Yeah.
To date, like it's gonna have ray tracing. I mean, so is the PS5, but anyway. So they announced that the game wasn't gonna launch with ray tracing. That would be a future patch. And like all the textures and stuff just didn't feel like it felt like a current gen game, maybe a little bit less even. And you have to also think like when you want to launch like your flagship title with the console, like with its full functionality, like
you would think. I mean, whenever I think of Xbox, I still think of Halo.
well, like even
no matter what.
Yeah, like even like to my point, like if you have an Xbox Series X right now, and I'm sorry, an Xbox One X or whatever Xbox console you have, and it can run the new Halo and it's perfectly fine, like what's going to make you jump to that new console? Like if it doesn't have the ray tracing or any of the new features, why would you jump to the new console? You know what I mean?
Especially if that's going to be the console seller for you.
Yeah, so I don't know if the launch of the Xbox is going to be like if they're going to sell as many as they were before. Probably not. Was it smart for them to delay Halo? I definitely think so. If they don't get Halo right this time, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that they're going to have to get right, just on the basis that it's the flagship game of the Microsoft. Nintendo has Mario and they have Mario and Zelda. PlayStation, I guess they're really pushing Spider-Man and Crash Bandicoot and those kind of things.
Ratchet
and I guess
Clank,
Ratchet and Clank, The Last of Us 2 just came out for, that's going to be other than Ghost of Tsushima. I can't say it.
Tsushima.
Yep. That's going to be the last, big game to come out for PS4. And then whenever I think of Xbox, I think of Halo. Nothing else. Maybe Gears of War, but mostly Halo.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to tell me you're going to release on your highest powered console ever created, from my understanding, right?
Yes, but okay, so before I even say this, I don't mean that consoles are going to go away. I don't think that. I think PlayStation is going to be around for quite a long time. Nintendo probably, but we'll see how they kind of adapt to the future. But I think this is Xbox's last console. I don't.
Yeah.
I do not think that they're going to be around in the sense of a hardware like ecosystem. So for instance, right now on my new gaming laptop I just bought, I have my entire Xbox on here. I can access my Xbox on my laptop. Not only that, but the Xbox Game Pass also is on my laptop. So I can just download any game and play it.
Well, I mean, that makes, I definitely agree with you though.
And like plus you can use your Xbox Live account on your laptop. But or your gaming PC. But they're also like Xbox xCloud, their new streaming service that you can stream any game on Game Pass, like on your tablet, your phone, or whatnot. Like so that's gonna be coming to as many devices as possible. You're gonna be
basically anything.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to play your Xbox games anywhere. Like there was even a rumor that it was gonna come out for the Switch at one point. And I think this is outstanding move by Xbox, because it's even fairly priced. Like for $14.99 a month, you get Game Pass on your Xbox console, your PC, and that also includes your Xbox Gold Live account, like for your online service.
That's not a bad deal.
It's super cheap. It's super affordable, and just to think that like you can have like 300 plus games just to download and play at any point.
And then on top of that, the new console is going to be backwards compatible, correct?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be backwards compatible all the way to the first Xbox.
Yeah, so what's the point of making a new console?
And
after that,
and I think that's what they're getting to. And I think it's completely smart, because like people are still going to buy PlayStations to get those blockbuster first party titles. I don't think Xbox has that same feeling of first party titles. Now there are games that draw me to Xbox, and that's why I own one, to be honest, because there are certain games you can only play on Xbox that I do like. But again, you have to be a certain type of gamer to want that. You know, a lot of people gravitate towards PlayStation because it's going to have a lot of your third party titles plus those first party titles that they just the PlayStation 4, man, I mean, they hit so many home runs.
Oh yeah, I mean, even up to the death date, of it, you have Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, you have Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
And before that,
it was Death Stranding, I think.
Where you walk a baby.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
God of War, Spider-Man.
Yep. And those are all console sellers for a lot of people. Like God of War came out originally on PS2?
Yes.
So I mean, everybody and their mother had a PS2. As not only was it a gaming console, it was also a DVD player. And back then, DVD players weren't $40 at Walmart. So I mean, it was worth getting. And then, there's a lot of games that have continuously been popular since that, generation of systems, because what is it? The Wii's other than the Game Boy, I think, and the DS, the Wii is the highest selling console of all time.
I believe so.
But
yeah.
then the PS2 is like the second one after the Wii. But I mean, I think that PlayStation ultimately is gonna dominate this holiday season, because you said they are both releasing in November with no date announced yet, and no prices.
Yeah,
so be prepared to spend $1,000 on an Xbox and $600 on a PlayStation. And people will do it.
And just to get back on track for like the stuff that's actually happened this past week, it's been a decent amount actually. So Call of Duty has revealed the new title of the new Call of Duty game, and it's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Battletoads, Rare made a new Battletoads for Xbox that just came out today. Let's see what else here. New Super Lucky's Tale that was originally on Xbox and came to the Switch. New Super Lucky's Tale was actually a different game. They added a lot of more content into it, and that was actually only available for the Switch at the time. It's now coming out for PlayStation, and it's out today. And that also came back to Xbox with new content and PC. Let's see. There's something else I saw that was pretty. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. In the new launch trailer, they showed the character customization, which means you can make your own character, which is new to those games. And the final thing I wanted to mention, there was kind of like this hidden gem in the rough, like no one knew about it. I don't know if you saw this anywhere, like on YouTube, but there's this Japanese developer. They've only made like a couple games, but they have this game coming out called Black Myth Wukong. and it's based on the novel Journey to the West for the Monkey King.
Okay.
And this game looks fantastic. Like it's
I haven't heard any of that.
Oh, you need to look up the gameplay. It just looks so good. And like the visuals are just like outstanding. People are blown away that like no one knew about this. But I mean, it's not set to come out for for a good while. I think they said like it's still like out in development for 2 more years. But
I see the Monkey King.
yeah, but like I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks so fluid.
I think the only thing I have to add is I'm not sure if you saw this, but my girlfriend mentioned it to me. On Netflix, they released a documentary series called High Score. I'm looking at Mash. Yeah, and I figured for next week's podcast, I can watch all of them. I think it's like 6 half-hour episodes or whatever. What it looks like. Yeah, so Netflix's High Score is a quirky, awkwardly paced adventure through the early days of video games. So look forward to a review, I guess, semi-what review of that docuseries next week. And I think Netflix launched it during this past week. And before we actually started recording, my girlfriend yelled upstairs to me in my office. She's like, "Did you know they released a docuseries on Netflix called High Score?" I'm like, "What's it about?" And she's like, "Video games." I'm like, well, that is perfect to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
So speaking of kind of news, and there's been these rumors for a long time. Have there been any new news on the Mario anniversary that's coming up? What is it? 40 years? Not 40 years. Not 40 years.
35, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a big rumor that they're going to remake like Sunshine and 64 and what else for like the Switch, and you're going to be able to buy them on the Switch.
I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I feel like Nintendo they have something up their sleeves, but I want it to be true. I would love to have 3D World, Sunshine, Galaxy 64. I would pay the money to have it on my Switch for sure with like updated graphics. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be cool because I remember even in college and when I was younger, I never had an original NES. I had a Super Nintendo, especially in college. And to play the original Mario games, they released Mario All-Stars, which was the updated graphics of basically ports of those original 3 games. That would make sense to do for this, anniversary. Just basically Mario All-Stars 2 with, 3D World, Sunshine, and 64.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
I completely agree. And I want them, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But speaking of Mario, what is the update on the progression of Super Mario World?
There's none.
Okay. And that's gonna be it for the second edition of the Nerdologist podcast. Our Nerdcast. Be looking out for us on iTunes here soon. Do you have anything else to say to the people before we sign off?
No, just for more content, make sure you go to twitch.tv /Nerdologist Gaming. We'll be going live this weekend at some point. And yeah, thanks for sticking with us this long.
Cool. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.